Hi everyone. Today let us discuss about history of novel. So first, let's see about introduction. A novel is an invented prose narrative of significant length and complexity that deals imaginatively with human experience. And its roots can be traced back thousands of years, though its origins in English are traditionally placed in the 18th century. And a novel is a modern form of literature, and the invention of printing made this form of literature possible. And it is a product of development in the print culture and technology. And it is the result of print, which is a mechanical invention. And without print, the novel could not reach a large number of audience. So and now let's see the history of novel. The spread of novel began in the 17th century and flourished in the 18th century, and they established in England and France during 17th century, but only during the 18th century, growing readership and the earnings of authors increased drastically. And this gave freedom to the authors from financial dependence on the patronage of aristocrats. As their earnings increased, and they began to experiment with different literary styles. Next, novels were pricey and not affordable by the poor classes. Like Henry Fielding's Tom Jones, which is published in the year of 1749, sold at 3 shillings for each of its 6 volumes. And circulating libraries started in 1740, and the general public could get access to books. New innovations in printing and new innovations in marketing helped in increasing the sales and reducing the prices. And the novel seemed more realistic and made the reader travel in the author's imaginative world. So people were deeply involved in the characters. So the first novel serialized in a magazine was Charles Dickens' Pickwick Paper in 1836. Magazines were cheaper and illustrated. During the 19th century, industrial age took over Europe, which resulted in unemployed poor people living in workhouses. It also created issues for workers in city life. So Charles Dickens' novel Hard Times illustrated the terrible condition of urban life under capitalism. And also, Emily Zola's Domanial described the life of French miners. So, novels reflected the contemporary development in the society, and the problem of city life was a major theme of novelists. For example, Thomas Hardy's Mayor of Casterbridge brought the vast majority of urban readers to closer to rural community through his stories. So during colonialism, most of the novels were written to glorify the conquest of the Europeans. Eventually, in the 20th century, some of them did show the darker side of colonial occupation. So the novel was not known in India until the 19th century. Many Indian authors tried to translate the English novels, but they eventually didn't enjoy doing that. Great epics were written in verses. The first novel was written in Marathi and Bengali, Baba Padmanji's Yamuna Paryatan, which was published in the year of 1857, is a simple story about the conditions of widows. And next, Muktamala by Lakshman Moreshwar Halbe, which was published in the year of 1861, was the another example. And Hari Narayan Apte wrote the most well-known novels, and he wrote historical novels. His Usha Kala is very famous novel, and Naros Sadashiv Richard wrote Manju Gosha, writings full of amazing events. For the colonial administrators, the novel provided a good source to understand the life and social hierarchy in India. It was easy for them to understand different scenarios of the Indian society through the help of novels, and few of them are translated into English by British administrators or Christian missionaries. Many novels highlighted the social ills and provided solutions for the same, and many novels told stories about the past, so that people could connect with fast. Novels soon became the very popular medium of entertainment among the middle class. And novels seemingly helped in spreading silent reading. And in the 19th century and probably in the early 20th century, people often read out loudly for several other people to hear. Eventually, people adapted to read in silence, and detective and mystery novels often had to be sent for reprints to meet the demand of readers. And many novels were printed as many as 22 times. And reading novels was prohibited for women and children. And it was believed that novels were having a negative impact on the minds of women and children. So parents started keeping novels in the secret places out of children's reach. And young people had to read them in secret. And older women who could not read took the help of their grandchildren to enjoy listening to a novel. And in an early 20th century, women in India also began to write novels and short stories. And many women writers had to write the novel in the secret because the society saw it as blasphemy, blasphemy. And however, many women turned into writers and wrote poetry, essays, and autobiographies despite the resistance from the society. Few authors started to highlight the struggle for lower caste people in their writing. And the theme of multiple novels was about the conflicts arising out of the marriage between a lower caste and an upper caste. And people from the lower caste become authors, and like Poderi Kunjambu from Kerala, and many lower class communities got space in literary era through novels. So, dear learners, uh, today we have discussed about history of a novel, and in another video we'll discuss about the types of novels. Thank you.